Welcome to Romantica Speaks. Today, our guest is Joao Marques. He is an artist from Portugal and pursuing masters in psychology, in clinical psychology, side by side. And he is a proponent of the latest movement in art in the West called neutralism. So, let's talk to him to learn about his ideas and inspirations. Tell us how you got interested in art.
My first starting point maybe was the creativity about music, about the lyrics that I create for music, for the metal bands that I was the vocals of these bands. And I started to also get interested with by philosophy, like nihilism, like Nietzsche, Sartre. And when I write many times, I start to create an image in my mind, and I start to create this image of passing for a canvas, for a paper, for example. And this was the beginning. Uh, at first, my paintings were a little more objective, more formal, with a symbolist and a more surreal influence, like paintings like the scarecrow and the existential storm, with a head, with a storm, with water and fire lightings on the painting, and a scarecrow with hair and a crown of spikes in his head, with the crows with a nest up his head. So I started first with the symbolic, maybe something more inside the neo-expressionism can be inserted on this style. After I start to read a little more, like the avant-garde approach, surrealism, abstract expressionism, European informalism, a little of cubism, names like Pollock, Picasso, Dali, what more? Klein, the American expressionists, the European like Pierre Solage, Georges Mathieu, and a little after, I started to read a little more of Francis Bacon, the neo-figuration and the visual elements of his paintings. I'm a self-taught. I don't have any arts education since my basic school, I can say, since my ninth grade, school grade, that I have no arts education. So I started to create something more abstract and informal, always with an open mind, trying to create. I know that first we try to copy. Everyone that tries something like abstract expressionism will throw ink, throw acrylics or any other kind of media to the canvas, like Pollock is automatic to do something like that. Even nowadays, it happens. It's like a fashion and overrated thing on the abstract expressionism. I tried other things, and right now I'm trying to create my own style, keeping my traits, to know what I can or what I want to express with other elements too, from the surrealism, from the neo-expressionism. I really liked the visual and onirical elements, and that is the from the start and until now. Um, yes, is that.
Okay. Just one more question in this regard. That how many years it is that you are painting?
I am painting since finals of 2009. So
Okay.
12, almost 12
13
years,
years,
12 years.
more than a decade. Okay, that's quite some time. So we go to the next question. That many people have a feeling that painting or art should be learned through practicing various stages. Like first, one must learn to do realistic paintings. I mean, copying a mango like a mango, and then you go, kind of graduate to the other level of doing some distortion, and then further distortion, and at the end, abstract and all that. So, do you think it's necessary to for somebody to become an artist, it is necessary to go through all the stages, practice all the stages, and then decide which one he or she would like to paint, would like to follow, or one can just jump into what suits his or her spirit?
I think that everything that we know since we're born is our perception of reality, our perception of the objects, of the people around us. Like for example, I have to know, and I know that this is a pair of dark glasses, but I also know that I can do and design a more informal, cutting some parts of these classes in a more abstract way and
Yes.
disform the classes. So what I think that we need to have the perception of the real objects, like the realism. We need to know. I'm not telling that we need to study intensely the objects, but we need to know. And then we can do everything else. For example, who can get formal ways of arts education? Certainly, I think that the design, to really design and draw the objects, it's the start
Okay.
for arts education. But if you want only create by yourself something, in nowadays, I don't see why you need to start with a realism, because everyone can paint or do something, even by accident. So, on the practice, in a practical way, start with something now. Starting with something more realistic is useless, but it has the power or the essence or the knowledge into give you something more than, sorry my expression now, but it has the essence and the relevance of to do something more than throw ink for a canvas. So this is about the transformation and the formatting from the realism to the abstraction, or to a concept, because the conceptual art is about an idea, a concept. So right now, is my opinion can be very ambivalent. Okay, philosophical and about knowledge, yes, it's important, but in a practical way, no.
So, so you feel that there is no point in spending a lot of time on realism, that is copying an object objectively, rather than one can not straight, but eventually quickly jump to what suits the spirit or the modern trend of art.
For creates for the creation process,
Yeah.
it will depend on what you want to paint. If I want to paint these glasses in the way that they are, surely I will need to draw this intensely at his own way, with all elements, with the colors, with all the details. It is needs for I create these glasses in a realistic way. But if I don't want to do it, I don't need it. It's not so. It's not a question about. It's not an answer about to be. It's not a white and black answer, like a dichotomic answer, because it will depend of the subject interest of the person or the artist that wants to create his own art or not his own art. For me, I don't have any interest in to draw intensely an object with all the details. It's not important. It's not a priority, and for me, it's very, very, very boring.
Yeah,
But that's
it's
my
already there.
opinion
Yeah.
in myself. In myself. But it can be very relevant and important and for other people.
Now there is an interesting question. We have seen the video recordings of your paintings. I mean, when you paint in social media, and it appears that you paint very quickly, very fast. Now, what we are asking, the question here is: sometimes there is an impression among people that many classic artworks have been painted over a very long period of time, sometimes 6 7 years or something like this. Now, is it is this time frame anything relevance that a great work of art could be painted very quickly or over a very long period of time? What do you think? I mean, what is it? I mean, is it got anything to do with quality of artwork or type of artwork? You paint very fast. You see that?
I paint my paintings maybe 10 minutes every time that I get on a painting.
10 minutes.
What this means? It means that I can pass 2 weeks painting. I can pass 2 weeks for finish a painting, but it will take 10 minutes of each week or for some days. For each day. It means that I'm not constantly. I don't paint every day. Every day,
Okay.
I paint maybe this week at 1 week that I don't paint anything. Yes, I don't paint anything since Sunday or Saturday, last Saturday of last weekend. But I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 paintings to finish. Yes, I have right now 4 paintings to finish, but I have my dissertation right now in first place, so they are a little resting right now. But I don't think that it's about time. It's like to ask when a painting is complete. It will depend always the way that we see that we observe or we perceive the painting. If it really give us the feeling of of complete of an holistic sense of to being
Completion, even.
completed, but in all the elements, all the ways that give us that feeling. Is like a peace feeling of the achievement about the painting that we made, that we create. So I think it's more the creative perception of whole of the completion than the painting itself. For example, I know when I shall stop to paint the same painting, when I think that okay, I will not touch or do something more on this painting, because if I touch on it, I will ruin what I already did, what is already made. So I don't think this is about time. It is about the feeling of the artist that thinks or feel that is already done.
You don't go any further on that. There's a final shape.
In the past, I already ruined some paintings with the obsessive way to
Modify
touch,
further.
try more. I think that this is a very general on the artist population, because there is some insecurities that I think we can have. This painting is already done. It's not done. What can I do more? Shall I put a little of this color? Shall I try another one? Shall I erase these details? Shall I add more details? And for me, it's about balance. And that is the word, balance. To a complete essence of complete perception of balance in the painting.
In fact, when you say that you kept modifying, further adding, further deleting, and things like that, I remember one example, Giacometti, right? Giacometti, who was an artist as well as a sculptor also. He used to modify his sculptures for such a long time. I mean, nothing could be added, but could be rubbed off. That is one of the reasons his sculptures are like so thin lines. I mean, very rickety stuff. Very rickety. Of course, they feel very strange, but then the great artistic value. But then they are thin also because he used to keep on modifying it, and finally he will end up at a very thin sculpture. That used to be the reason.
See it. For example, someone said, I don't know who was the artist. I think that was a painter. That says, a painter paints like a bird flies. naturally. If we destroy or try to force what is natural, it will to begin or start to be something that is not something that does not fits or fits at all. So it's much better in a rational way right now. Now in a rational way to know what is natural on the painting, what is my own natural expression of me on the painting, and know that it is already done, then try something that is not natural, that will ruin the painting, will add more time to me, and also more frustration and confusion. Usually, what I did in the past was something like, okay, I'm gonna paint this painting of all white or black and started something new again. But sometimes this process can really be very very good, because sometimes for create we need to destroy, and then to destroy we need to create, like the Shiva goddess.
Okay, so the next question is, you are a proponent of neutralism. The latest, I have not heard any other movement these days, but this is probably the latest art movement which I get to hear. So, tell us a little bit in very brief about what is neutralism.
Okay, naturalism is an international art movement about the elemental multiculturalism. It means that there is an union between artists of many countries. It started in Italy with Francesco Perilli, that is the founder. And the neutralism can be explained by the concept that the painter, the artist, is neutral to the painting, to the art itself. What this means? Means there is not a form, a way to paint, to create, but what matters is the essence and the feeling of doing that. So it's not so much about the the formal painting, like a realistic painting, or an abstract painting. This will also be against, or is against, the emptiness or the void of the art nowadays. For example, everyone can paint abstract or informal, throwing ink to the canvas. What is as of essence is decoration or a fashion, and this will, for the naturalism, is it does not does not link to the values of the naturalism movement. It's very much more about the essence. When we can see that a painting shows much more than a style determined, a predetermined style. It has some influence of the informalism, but is not informalist at all. Did I explained it well.
Yeah. It's understood. Of course, it's not a very familiar concept. So, yeah, I mean, you have conveyed quite
This is
clearly.
this is opposed to the concept of the art nowadays by through the society, that the of the consumism and of the consumism and uh, I'm missing the words, but you can check you can think on the guys Lipovetsky of the empty the void edge of the consumism and the show society that we have nowadays. For example, the the installations, artistic way, that show the representation of of society through the events, through the livings, and it's always about the emptiness and to show up and to impress the others. Uh, for example, to me, to go to a conceptual art installment where the ticket says find the transparent or the formless shapes of the objects on the room, and I get in the room, and all that I see it white walls. They are selling me a concept, but not an essence of an objective formal object. So naturalism is a complex way to determine, because it against all this show up and impress society to create something that is empty. And today, nowadays, arts can be a very empty concept.
Okay. Yeah. It's almost clear. I still can't say that it is very crystal clear to everyone. This is a new concept, and art itself is there is a degree of abstraction. So, okay. Now the next question is about your. You are pursuing psychology, right? You are a master's in psychology now. mm, so, being a student of psychology, how do you think it influences you in the kind of art you create?
Okay, this is the scientifical and the emotional and the artistic answer that sometimes many artists don't like it, because art is one thing, science is other thing. But for me, it is always about my experiences, my personality traits, my capacities, my abilities, and what I can do and what I cannot do. So you can think on the psychoanalysis from Freud, from Jung, that is not my thing. First of all, I am more on the cognitivism and behaviorism, not on the psychoanalysis. But for example, we all So sometimes we think on the plot ink test, the Rocha test, full of
Exercises.
black inks, right?
Yeah.
That the psychologist, the psychanalyst asked to the patient, "What do you see here?
What do you see here? Yeah.
What do you see here?" And the patient says, "I see a man, I see a horse, I see an animal, I see that, I see other thing." This is about projection, what we have in our mind, that with the external stimulus of the ink blot, it will be projected our memories and experience, our personality traits, and our pathologies on the plot, because the plot has nothing. The plot is ink blot. It's black. We will give meaning to that object. So the same process can be done to my paintings, but I like to give the details and induce or manipulate the observer into watch, observe, or to project something that it is really on the painting. It means that I have some details like eyes, like figures, animals, that can induce the observer to see that. And since that we live in different cultures and but similar cultures, when we live in the same culture, the ethnographic elements, usually we are very similar to what we say the social constructivism, to the social norms, to what is normal and what is abnormal. Because the normal is about a norm, to respect, to get inside, to fit on the norm. So this is what I can really create on my paintings. One time, an old man in the exhibition, told me that he were seeing a religious ceremony with a priest on the center, and a woman on at knees praying, for example. So in maybe in our Portuguese and Occidental society, the Christianism as a religion has a really big paper on some people that can really see what observe on my painting something more religious. For example, like this man. But this is not something so generalized.
Yeah.
For me, what I try to create with my knowledge, psychology knowledge, is something very onirical and very visceral, with some rationality too. But the first painting elements are always very intuitive. They are moves, they are pouring, they are throw ink, they are very gestural. After the second stage is very intentional. It's very detailed. It is the projection elements, that what I can see there, what I can do here, where can I create something like an head on this ink blot of the acrylics or spray, is how I will compose or construct the painting as a final product, like a way to follow. Uh, so to know, for me, scientifical this approach, yes, it's very useless, it's very useful. Uh, but it's also something that can ruin or can be a little harsh or um, bother. It can bother some other people when they say that in an abstract painting that there is a flowers, I create something that this means that my experience, my memories, and I say, well, this is only colors and ink stains, because I don't see any kind of intention or detailed object on it. So what I can really try to do is, okay, I start with abstract, I try to induce some form and see what happens.
So, Joao, tell us one thing. You are doing both, right? You are pursuing psychology, probably tomorrow as a profession also, and you are also a very passionate paint artist. Now, what do you think that artist, being an artist, do you think one can survive just by painting or sculpting, taking art as a profession? You are pursuing both. Um, wha- how promising it is to be just an artist in this world, in today's world, commercial.
For example, art can be a profession if you are in an environment that gives you or help you to have that status, that statement. If you raise on a family of artists with arts education, and you can follow the academics arts education and meet people inside with institutions on these environments, yes, I think you can be a professional artist and live through the arts. But if you don't get that opportunities, that chance, I think that is a little hard, because what makes a good artist, what makes a good painting many times, is the society around us.
Right.
The society, the media, that says what is good, what is bad, what you shall eat, what you shall not, what you shall
Right.
not eat, what you shall to buy, what you shall not buy, and this is really the the difficult way to be an artist by profession. For example, if I could sell my paintings, 3 or 4 paintings by month, by by a price of 1,000 euros itself, or even one, because the Portuguese minimal salary right now, yes, this month already rise a little more. is 705 euros. So if I could sell my paintings by 705 euros, well, I were living with my heart. If I could sell them more than one painting by each month, okay, I'm living with my heart, but with my heart. But if I cannot sell, okay, I am an artist. I am the poor artist that cannot sell. But my profession is I am an artist. And how do you live? I live when the people buys my paintings. And how many times the people buy your paintings? Sometimes. How many people buy it? How many paintings did you sell last month? I sold no paintings. So this can be seen as a profession, like a way to live through art. In that way, no. But if you are the opposite, well, yes, you can sell many paintings. You can have the opportunity and chance to eat, to pay your rents, to pay your duties, and to be socially and economically independent through your art. Yes, you are a professional artist in this own way, and socially, yes, you are living through art.
Yeah.
You also can be an art teacher. You can be an art curator. You don't need really to create art or live through art. And is more that way what I do. For me, art painting is an extra. It's something that is a pleasure. It's something that I like to do. It's something that I like to sell because I like money, like we all do, and we all need money to achieve other steps in our life. But right now, I don't see my artistic side as a profession, as like a way to, like a possible way to live. Because maybe I am young. Maybe I need to get inside the system of the heart and start to sell at other level, to rise my name onto the artists on the artistic art society. And this is the way I think.
Understood. Great. So we are near the end of this interview now. One most interesting question: tell us a little bit about your personal life. I mean, we don't know. I mean, are you married? You're planning to marry? What is your? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, right now I am a single Portuguese guy, and I don't recommend a guy like me because I'm very complex, in a good way, for sure. Well, since I have my salary does not help me to have the economical independency, and since I am still finishing my master, my clinical psychology master, and I hope to finish that this year and then start to work as a clinical psychologist. And psychology here in Portugal is not so valued by our government like in other countries. So I don't plan things with people. Things happen. If I know someone, a girl, a woman, the next day, for example, and I start a relationship, okay. If it does not happen, it does not happen. I'm not pursuing. I don't have the plan right now to start a family, to have sons, because I think that I will have many mother sons to to give some appointments and make some therapy. I hope so. So I don't will maybe to be pissed off about my sons, but about the sons of other people. And I think that on my way to see things, it's not. I don't need to. I don't need to go have a family or to have sons for feel fulfillment on my life. And also other thing, I like the independence. I like to do things at my own way. I like to be free. I like to go somewhere because I want to go somewhere. I like to eat something because I want to eat something. I want to paint or create a big mess on my garage because I want to paint in that way. And sincerely, I don't. I'm missing the word, but I have no patience for people that are not capable to give or to understand that my way to be free. Like Nietzsche says, a free spirit. So I don't think that I will end my life alone. Maybe sometimes I think, but I don't see that things that way. But it's something that I'm not focused right now. What I want to do, I want to finish my master. I want to paint. I want to enjoy the good, nice pleasures of life. And other things, maybe at other level, it can happen or not. Because Saikat, we always trust or expect the things about ourselves that we will achieve, or we can do things in our life about our own selves? I don't think so. So why we try sometimes to plan this with other people? Because we are unstable in that way. Today I want, tomorrow I don't want. So I don't make plans about other people. Is the only, maybe that is the big is the affirmation of this about this question you did to me.
Yeah.
We can sometimes create plans about ourselves, what we want to do, what we don't want to do, but about other people, other things that right now can be immaterial. It can be material with the time after. But to create plans that way, I don't think that is a good idea.
You are married to art and freedom. That's what I say.
I'm married. It's not about to be married with art and what is like to say more? Art and freedom.
Freedom.
It's more about to be married with my own priorities.
And that's what I said. That freedom.
It can be seen like a very egoistical and egocentric way to see things on life.
So you choose to live life by your own terms. Don't
by my own values and I try to live by my own values and priorities.
very clear.
If other people if other people can be my own priority, okay, I will do it.
Okay, so I think we had all our questions answered, and we look forward to many more very beautiful paintings and intriguing, mysterious paintings coming out of your canvas in the coming days. Thank you.
Thank you, Saikat, too. And it's always a pleasure to talk and work with you.